Hi, I'm Robin Walker with VSP Walker, and welcome to another VSP Walker video blog. You know, last week I had an opportunity to go to Michigan to a user group meeting of a software company. And as I'm at the meeting talking to a group of manufacturers and how they use their software, there's some things that really struck me. And it left me a little frustrated and pondering as to why is it so dang difficult for manufacturers to successfully implement ERP systems. And as I reflected on that, I wanted to share with you some of my thoughts on why is there a challenge between software companies and manufacturers to successfully implement software, and also what is it that manufacturers look for in an implementation consultant to have that successful. So let's start out with, if we look at the software company, what is their goal? Well, their goal is success. And the way a software company defines success is by selling more software. Because selling software is where their high margins are, and the maintenance agreements that come after that. That's where they make their money. And to be able to sell more software, their focus is on adding rich functionality. Because the more functionality they have, the more they can accommodate different manufacturers and more companies, the more software they sell, the more successful they are. Now, if we look at a manufacturing company as it relates to software, what makes them successful? Well, they need to realize results. And to do that, they need to utilize the software. To get results and to utilize the software for success, they need to focus on the implementation process itself. So we have a software company that needs to focus on adding rich functionality to be successful. And we have the manufacturer who needs to focus on the implementation process to be successful. And what we have is an inherent conflict that exists between these two focuses. So let's think about that. You know, the software company, from their perspective, they're saying, hey, remember, success equals lots of functionality, because that allows us to solve any issue of any manufacturer. But from the manufacturer's viewpoint, they are not just any manufacturer. They are uniquely, they'll say, I'm uniquely us. And so we need to focus on the functionality that makes us effective. And that might be true. The software company, however, they've built all this great functionality. So they are obviously and rightfully excited about this technology. And they say, we have lots of things. We can do this, and we can do this, and we can do this, and all this stuff is really, really cool. But the manufacturer, they look at this and they say, yeah, it's cool technology. We get that. But what we really want is we want a consultant who understands us. And what we need is, we don't want to know what the software can do. We want to know what we should do and why it applies to us. And particularly, what results we're going to get. So they look at this and they say, what we need help on really, at the end of the day, is help for focus and simplicity. Now, is either the software company or the manufacturing company wrong in the things that they focus on? Absolutely not, because each one of these focuses gets them to success. The issue arises is, unfortunately, and software companies understand this, the more functionality they add, the more types of manufacturers that they can solve problems for, the more complex their system becomes. So it really comes down to an issue of complexity versus simplicity. The manufacturer needs to focus on simplicity. The reason they bought the software is to do more with less. But they have to take an inherently complex product, simplify it to be successful. That's really where the conflict lies. And it's no fault at all of the software company or the manufacturer. It's just that what makes them successful creates an inherent conflict. So let's talk about, as a manufacturer, what do you really need in an implementation consultant? So let's discuss that. Well, first off, you need someone who can come in and quickly understand your business. You don't have a lot of time, you don't have a lot of resources. They need to be able to come in, look at your business, look at your operations, grasp what needs to happen. They also need to be able to have detailed operational process understanding of manufacturing. And they need to know that, because if you have someone who has only knows the software, but has never applied that in manufacturing, has maybe never worked in manufacturing, has never been intimately involved in the details of the operational processes of manufacturing, they are going to really be challenged to do the next thing that we needed them to do. And that is to apply the software to you, to help you simplify the whole myriad of functionality and the complexity that comes with it, and apply the software directly to what you need it applied to. We also need them to be able to look at it from a systemic view. There's tons of setup parameters. There's tons of variables that you need to set. And they need to understand how this setup eventually rolls down and affects the financial piece and affects the accounting piece. Okay, so that has to be addressed. We need them to have, you need them to have the ability to simplify your life. The question I have for you, again, why did you buy the software? You bought the software because you want to be able to do more with less. You did not buy the software to complicate your business. You did not buy the software to have to work more hours to get the same thing accomplished. You bought it to simplify and to make you more successful. That's why we invest in technology. Okay? They have to have the ability to address the fear of change. Your team is going to, some of them are a little hesitant when change happens. This is something new for them. There is going to be a fear that exists amongst your team, and the software consultant is going to have to address that for you. They're going to do some training for your group. And when they do that training, they need to be able to teach you by using your language. It does not help you at all if they talk like a software geek. If they talk about this, because I've heard so many users say to me, Robin, the software consultant, why do they have to talk in words that I don't understand? I feel like they're talking down to me. Why can't they talk my language? Why can't they apply that to my business? That consultant has to be able to teach you by using your language. That is very key. They need to be able to keep you organized and focused. This is a big project you're undertaking, and it has to be organized and it has to be focused. More importantly, they have to keep their eye on your goals and your strategies. If they can't keep their eye on your goals and your strategies, they are not going to be able to give you the focus that you need. And last but not least, they need to be your advocate, to lead you, and to make you believe in your ability to succeed. Remember, we have an issue with the fear of change. That software consultant that comes in, they have to be able to say, I am here for you, client. I am looking out for you, Mr. Manufacturer. I am going to lead you. I'm going to be your advocate, and I believe that you have the ability to succeed, and that is what's necessary for success. So if we look through this list of things that are needed, would you agree with me that this is what you need to be successful in an implementation? Now, you know, when I was at this meeting last week with the users, and when I meet new people in general, a lot of times I lead by saying, you know, I'm not a technology consultant. And there's a reason that I say that. I don't want to have companies or potential clients view me as just a technology consultant. Because the reality is that technology does not live in a vacuum. And what I bring to the table is a lot bigger than just technology consulting. When I look at doing an implementation, you have to consider the culture, the leadership, the metrics, the processes that are in place, the goals and the strategies. And if you don't look at all those things, if you don't consider those, you're not going to be able to take this technology and align them to get results. Now, I might be able to implement the technology, but if it's not in alignment, guess what happens? There is money that's just leaking out your walls. You are costing the business more than you need to, and you're not getting the results that you really could get. If we can align these things and think of it from a systemic view, you can be much more successful. So that is what I like to focus on. So I hope looking at and helping you understand, where is the software company coming from? Well, they're coming from what they need to do. They are making their company successful by adding rich functionality and selling more software. The challenge for you is you have to be able to dive through that complexity, have someone help you to simplify it, apply it to your life, and truly be able to get more with less. So thanks for joining me. Until next time, remember, velocity, make things happen faster. Simplicity, don't make business harder than it needs to be. And profitability, make more money. Thanks for joining me.